And we are unmuted. We are back to... Get the fuck out of here. I don't know where I threw that, but I threw it somewhere. Don't worry, that's not an important kit or nothing. This is the important kit. It's the kit we're building today. It's a real mess, isn't it? This is a real mess, ain't it? Oh my goodness. Oh, I had a little bit more time to... Well, actually, I didn't have more time to prep than normal. I kind of, started stream at the seat of my pants today. But we are continuing with a little bit of prep of the, Zazabi. But it's very little. Don't worry, we're not gonna, it's not gonna be like another hour of prep. We just need to do these shoulders. I did some stuff off stream, like I missed these and I got these off stream. I wanted to paint these a little to give them a differentiation, see how that looked. And did some other stuff, like I want to show you the crotch phrasing. I don't think context really helps me in that case of what I just said. But ooh. There it is. I want to show you guys, before we actually do anything, how the pink on yellow turned out. I don't know why that's there. I'm just going to clear that up. But as I said, using pink as a base coat. And that's how it turned out, with pink as a base coat. That's just one coat of pink, one coat of yellow. I think it turned out pretty well, so I think I'll be doing that in the future. Pretty clean. I wasn't quite sure if it was going to work out well. But it looks pretty nice. Still has the detail. I had to redo these ones. I had to redo the skirt ones because I accidentally used a little too much paint. And it kind of pooled a bit. But I'm going to have to do some cleanup there. But it still looks fine there. It has the contrast that we want. But the only prep we need to do before we can start building is these. As you can see, I took the job of getting all the tape on beforehand, and it's just getting all these ready and nice and looking. So, let's just get right into it. And let's find a brush. And I still don't have a palette. I was supposed to do a lot of stuff. But, I kind of didn't do a lot of prep today because I found a cat. It wasn't a stray or anything, it was just somebody's cat that they let wander about, which you shouldn't do. But I took the opportunity to see how good my dog was with cats. And he's better with cats than cats are with him. The cat hated him, but he just wanted to sniff the cat. The cat despised him. But I kind of just sat down and, petted a cat, pet a cat just on the sidewalk for, half an hour. And that really ate into my before stream time, to say the least. Ooh. So sadly, I was not able to get Marching Through Georgia recorded and downloaded. I was hoping I'd be able to find on Library of Congress an MP3 file, because usually they provide those, but even though it's in the public domain, they're not providing MP3 files for Marching Through Georgia. So we still don't have Marching Through Georgia on the playlist. My apologies. But I should be getting that. But I have the page up so I can just record it and make it into an audio file later. Ooh. And... well, you know what? I just realized I'm not wearing the correct glasses. Give me a minute. I don't know where the correct glasses are, though. Did I lose my glasses again? I would say this is the second time this week, but Saturday doesn't count as this week. No, wait, no, I did it on Doom, so it is the second time this week. Son of a bitch! 1 minute. Let's see if I can see where it is. Ah, there it is. Well, there they are. Okay. Ooh. Actually, for anyone who was watching Shog earlier, I do actually her stream reminded me of a neat little topic, and my head's still gone. Ah! And it's the fact that the Alpha, or however you say it, from Char's counterattack was originally going to be named the Neo Zeong. However, it wasn't, and I think that was the correct choice, in consideration that the Zeong was a bastardization of... Like, it was to honor Zeon, but, like, what it represented was a bastardization of Char's father's ideals. So I feel like having Char, name something the Neo Zeong would have kind of been out of character. So I kind of like that they didn't do that. With Full Frontal and, like, Unicorn, it's a different story. But I always kind of wondered why that was until I don't remember how I learned that information, actually. But that's why, to my understanding. It is the Alpha, or however you say it, is not called the Neo Zeong. I love tape. And by the time we get to having to use this for building, this should be drying, because actually the Vallejo dries pretty quickly. There we go. And yeah, that's all the prep we need to do. It's stuck to my finger. That's all the prep we need to do, chat. Now we can finally commence with the building. After over 2 hours. To be fair, I usually don't do this much prep in general. Yeah. We were kind of deciding last stream on the fly what to prep. To the Twitch CEO. She also talked about the Twitch CEO, that's true. Was it freaking Clancy or whatever? That guy who has openly stated... I mean, did you know he actually got Twitch staff to sing happy birthday to Hassan Piker? Did you know? Because, okay. I didn't know that. Like, I knew before I never bothered to watch the content nuke about Hassan Piker because I was like, I already know Hassan Piker's a piece of crap. But, 1 minute. The content nuke also has a lot of information on the people around Hassan, including Clancy and that one woman who's named Frog. You know, and like, I didn't know things about them, you know? I didn't know that Clancy literally forced a bunch of, like, Twitch staff on their lunch break to sing happy birthday to Hassan Piker. That's pretty shit. Or Frog Woman. And you might be wondering, why do I call her Frog? Her name's Frog. What am I supposed to call her? Like, her name's literally Frog. But the Frog Woman who hangs out with Hassan Piker, how she made a, like, tier list that was, like... And this was, like, from a TwitchCon, too. This was from, like, TwitchCon, too, and it's unbelievable what I'm about to say. But she made a tier list that was, like, at the bottom of it was Jew, effectively. It was a term for a native Jew. And at the top was Arab, and it's just like, wow. It's like, no, they're referencing the hummus. Oh, the hummus from, the national hummus of Israel. That's still anti-Semitic, dude. What a world. But remember, Hassan Piker doesn't get any special treatment. Just remember that, chat. Absolutely doesn't get any special treatment. Ooh. Oh my goodness. What a silly place that Twitch is. YouTube has problems, but at least to my understanding, the only people YouTube favors literally pays YouTube off, like the mainstream media and whatnot. Ooh. Oh, I missed a piece of... Okay, wait a minute. I do need to prep something else real quick. I forgot that I also put this here, so I need to quickly You are afraid to hell, and that pisses me off, because I just fixed you, and I don't want to buy another brush. But as you can see, there's tape here, because I need to prep it. Painting by hand without tape is such a pain. Painting with tape is just like, let me just glob that on there. Let me just get that all over you, baby. We can be very messy. We can be just the most messy, degenerate people on earth when you have tape, chat. Look at that. That's gonna look beautiful. Oh, I also did something else, and it turned out a little mixed, but when I painted the vents on the funnel holders, I mentioned how I'd try to do panel liner. I decided not to do panel liner, but I still wanted to have a little bit of definition on it. So I decided to do some dry brushing over top, so like the peaks of it would look worn, I guess, or something or another. But just like so you could see the individual fence, and I think it turned out well, except for the curve where a little too much paint got on it. But it kind of just kept to the edges for the most part. And I think that's just how we're gonna keep it. And YouTube chat, I should probably move you down, but I'm gonna wait to move you down. Where's the polycaps? During everything between today and yesterday, I kind of forget where I put the polycaps on this. Oh, are you the polycaps for this build? You're the polycaps for the last build. That's not good. Stop having a stroke. Stop having a stroke. Stop having a stroke. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. There we go. You know, sometimes, you know, things just get away from me, chat. Don't worry about it. You know, sometimes I just have a stroke live on stream. It's fine, okay? It's my body and my head that's having a stroke. It's my physical form. Okay, it just means a priest walked by. Don't worry about it, okay? Ooh. I live in a small town. There's a lot of people walking around, you know, with crucifixes and whatnot. You know, it's a dangerous place for a spirit. What can I say? What? One thing I love about these older builds is that the plastic's not as, like, smooth as the old ones, which is not great for nippers, but these nippers are already past their shelf life, so... Ooh. I hope the music isn't drowning it out. If it is, I can turn the music down a little for you guys. And... oh, I never went back on those, did I? Well, hopefully it'll look fine. Yeah, you look fine. And you look fine. Okay. Ooh. For a build its age, this is already a pretty complex build. I'm just looking at it. There's a lot going on with the arm assembly and whatnot. Ooh. Which is a good thing. This is a build that should have that extra effort put in. You know, it's really kind of hit or miss, though, with, like, old high grades, if, like, they... like, even special ones, if they put in the extra effort. Like, you think the high new would be deserving of extra effort, but the high new, they really... they put in the minimal design effort into that one for whatever reason, I don't know. And where's the other one? There it is. And that's not flush, and I have a feeling it needs to be flush. You know, you saying "what a world" made me think of all things, Wizard of Oz, which has me thinking about Wicked, which is actually prevalent to a question I was asked on Discord by... 1 minute. There we go. Ooh, on Discord by one of y'all. Can we... That's better, and everything's gonna be in a lot better framing now. Ooh. But it's about, like, the whole, like, sympathetic villains, and at worst, you know, like, they were never bad to begin with thing. And they said... Ooh, I can't remember if it was Neon or Zach, actually, sadly. I'm gonna check so I can credit the one responsible for it. Did it? It was Neon, okay. But Neon was, like, asking, and he said, like, he's seen, like, this whole thing since Malevolent. It didn't start with Malevolent, the whole redeemable bad guy aesthetic. In mainstream culture, it began with Wicked. And even then, it didn't really begin until it was... Okay, thank you for not breaking. It didn't really kick off until kind of years after Wicked. It didn't really get into mainstream. But Wicked is really the starting point of it. Which is kind of a shame, because Wicked is far better than pretty much all the modern, they ain't so bad, they just misunderstood. Because Wicked actually took time to consider the story it was telling, and also its source material. Ooh. Trying to find the sprue that I need. But it's very considerate to the fact that it was using Wizard of Oz, which is already based on the different books of the series. Characters vary, you know? Like, the wizard himself can be, in one story, kind of a prick, and in another story, a very nice old man. You know, maybe a little mischievous, but not an a-hole. And because of that, they can kind of, like, pick and choose which version of the character they're using for the story. You know, people won't look and be like, oh my god, they made the wizard into an a-hole. They're like, oh, okay, they're using that version of the wizard. It's like one thing. Is that there's multiple tellings of the story, and even in the most famous telling, the... What? C. I can't find C for some reason, chat, I'm sorry. Oh, no, I don't need C, I need G. I was being stupid. Okay. But, like, in the most famous version, like, everyone knows the wizard is a prick from that version. Because the wizard in the most famous version, the filmic, of course, literally sends a little girl off to die, effectively. He's like, oh, give me a broom from the wicked witch who wants to kill you. Like, he sends her off to die, effectively. Like, absolute prick. Like, 100%. Ooh. But that's actually a good thing for the story, because people know he's kind of an asshole already. Ooh. It's not like, you know, taking a story where, like, maybe the king was benevolent, or at least, like, a neutral character, and making him an a-hole. There's already precedent for that in the adaptation. But there's also other factors, like how in the most famous telling, which Wicked is partially based off of actually the movie, even though it's not public domain yet, it's based off of that in the fact that in the Wizard of Oz movie, we don't have a reliable narrative. No matter what, we see the world through Dorothy's perspective, and if she's dreaming, none of it's really literal. That's already a problem. But if she's not dreaming and she got literally isekai'd, well, that's actually not much better, to be honest, because if she's literally isekai'd, what that means, chat, I think it's still this one, yeah, is that she's viewing the world through a frightened, traumatized perspective due to the things that have happened to her and are happening to her. Like how she mistakes the lion, the scarecrow, and the Tin Man for people she already knows. Even though, in that case, they would have to be different people. So, either way, we have a narrative that is built on being flexible. And all of this is important because it allows Wicked to tell a new perspective on the story, thanks to that built-in flexibility of the narrative. Ooh. And this is why it doesn't work in other stories, though. This is why it doesn't really work in stories where, like, no, they're just evil. There is no nuance. They're just a prick. Because there's no room for flexibility. And the problem is the fact that all the considerations that Wicked has, because not only does it, like, just go like, oh, hey, you know, like, this is a flexible narrative, they also take time to build the characters. They take time to create the characters as they want them to be shown in their story. And to build up their characterization and character arcs. But in the later stories, this just isn't really done. And I know I mentioned Maleficent, but what came before Maleficent, which is really probably the ground zero for the mainstreaming of this, and it being very half-assed compared to Wicked. You are pissing me off. Okay. Is Frozen, which came out a year before Maleficent, and my model broke again. Stop that. If I do that. Okay. Is Maleficent, sorry, Frozen, which came out a year before Maleficent, and the whole thing of Frozen, to my understanding, was that Elsa was originally supposed to be an antagonist to the story. That she was supposed to be pretty much the daughter who abandoned her responsibility as royalty due to her trauma. But then as they were writing it, they became more and more sympathetic to Elsa, and by the time they had Let It Go written, they kind of just decided to make her actually just a misunderstood character, which then left them without an antagonist for their film, which is why in the movie it just kind of goes, this guy's the villain now. You know, he was actually a bad guy all along. Ooh, twist villain. And the whole thing, you can tell, is kind of thoughtless for it. From Elsa, being set up as, honestly, a bad person for forsaking her responsibilities and dooming her kingdom literally and, like, metaphorically and literally, you know, to a cold, slow death without a monarch. To the fact that, like, they have to quickly go, here's the actual villain, when they go, oh no, but she's not actually a bad person. Here's what bad people actually look like. And it's just like, well, where the fuck did this come from? Oh, you needed this to serve the story because you kind of just didn't think through what would happen if you got rid of your antagonist, but you still want, like, le villain in your story. And I need to rewatch Frozen, actually, because I actually want to, like, write up a direct comparison between the two. But where in Wicked, there's, like, consideration to everything happening. Where Elphaba, who's the Wicked Witch, like, her motivations are fueled by the fact that not only is the wizard not, like, in one of his lesser interpretations, where he's kind of more of an a-hole, but she's also more sympathetic to, say, the downtrodden. She is herself, because of her green skin, has been a victim of prejudice throughout, like, her life. So the wizard trying to distract people by preying upon their prejudice immediately, like, you just immediately go, like, okay, I understand, like, why she's immediately so aggressive against this, why she's not even trying to, like, negotiate or, like, talk things through, why she's so emotional and, like, blows off the handle instead of trying to maybe reach a more diplomatic solution to the problem. Like, there's thought and consideration to how things progress, both on a character and story level in Wicked, and providing the deeper context to why the things are happening the way they are. But again, in Frozen, it is very much just, oh hey, we like this song, or oh hey, we sympathize with this character, and then they kind of just decided, so we're gonna do this. Like, so we're not just gonna do this. Like, there wasn't as much careful consideration, and since then, there hasn't been. It's really, that's the issue. There just hasn't been as much consideration. It's one of those things that, like, Wicked itself started a trend, which then lesser people made into a trope, which then, at this point, is a cliche. And it's annoying for me because I look at Wicked, and I'm like, this is actually really well done, and actually has a lot of consideration to how everything is set up. But the idea has been driven into the ground by people who have nowhere near the skill to pull it off. It's just one of those things. And we need A now. Hey! Ooh. Normally I wouldn't talk about something like this on stream, but this is more just kind of a thing that I'm curious about, and it's a very hot button, like, it shouldn't be political, it's just a criminal matter. Ooh. But with a certain court case that's happening right now, or going to happen rather, somebody's like trying to claim self-defense for a stabbing. And really, there's one thing I've noticed is that people are saying that the person was provocative for saying touch me and like touch me and see what happens, and they're like, oh well, like he was being provocative, therefore he has no self-defense. That's a warning. That's not being provocative. However, one thing I noticed is in stories written about this case is that they're not putting into quotation marks, but they're mentioning how supposedly the person said punch me, and that is provocation, and that is not defended under self-defense. So like the real question I think is going to be at the end of the day is if the person did provoke conflict, they are kind of gonna be boned. Ooh. Unless, of course, like they try to play up like politics into the jury and whatnot, then God knows what's gonna happen. But it really depends if was he provocative or not, you know, for the self-defense claim. I'm gonna have to move chat down real quick to the secondary monitor so I can see you guys a little bit better. You pulled a you fuck. Why did you swap the Z and the S, my bro? Why would you do that? Why would you do such a thing, my man? You pulled a Zasabi? Oh my god. Look how clean that is! Look at that! That's beautiful! That one's not as clean, but it still looks nice. Doesn't that look nice, chat? That looks nice. I've been thinking of getting one of those like SD games and whatnot. But I'm not really the biggest fan of turn-based strategy. Not because I have anything against it. It's just that it's like JRPGs. I just never end up finishing the games. Ooh. Though I don't end up finishing the games because JRPGs are turn-based. That's just a universal thing with JRPGs. But turn-based games, it's a similar issue. There's one of those games that just like gets to a point and then I just never finish it. Like I don't know why really. Not like the only JRPGs turn-based games I finished has been Mario, Paper Mario games, and even then I don't always finish them. Look at that! There's a little bit of... Hold on, let me see if I can clean this off with the tweezers. Yeah, I can. Okay. Looks like the paint is set and won't raise, but it looks like also I can still clean it off with all this. Oh my god. Actually, speaking of drama, because I just want to talk about drama. Oh, it's crazy how... At this point, I don't even know if it's salvageable, if, like, there needs to be made an alternative, convention, but Offkai, just a person at Offkai who was, like, really high up last year, has just admitted they tried to cancel Pippa from the Offkai, from Offkai in general, and the only reason they weren't able to get Pippa, banned from Offkai is because Phase Connect pretty much financially bankrolled the entire convention. And it's just like, why would he admit to that? Oh, because he no longer is working with the people who, you know, are doing Offkai anymore. So his whole thing is just like, it's not my problem, and it's just like... They're eating their own. Like, they're literally throwing each other to the sharks for no fucking reason. Like, they're literally sabotaging themselves for no reason. These people, like, the aunties are sabotaging each other for no apparent reason. And I have to say, I kind of love to see it, in all honesty. Oh god, but... Let's get rid of these garlic skins, or whatever you call them. But yeah, that's kind of bad news in, like, a short-term sense, that, like, Offkai is kind of terrible. Ooh. I hate to see it, you know, because in the past they had, like, blamed their, you know, them literally uninviting and banning certain people from participating in Offkai panels as it's like, oh, no, it's not management, it's the volunteers who demanded this. And then just seeing management from last year going, yeah, no, we totally did that. Stop breaking. Ooh. Just admitting to that. And again, they admitted to it just because they're aunties. And it's for them convenient to be like, yeah, I do hate this person so much that I tried to cancel them and failed. Because it's the thought that counts for them. Ooh, and they don't care that they're literally sabotaging their, you know, their associates and the people they've worked with to organize it. They're just like, no, fucking, like, I don't care, because it's more important for the clout of having tried and failed. Just terrible people admitting to being, you know, awful human beings. But that's why if you see people trying to get, like, refunds for Offkai, that's why some people are actually trying to. Ooh. Oh god. There's also a person who's just on a panel this year who had to step down because they were just also an auntie. There's a lot of aunties in that, and it's a little concerning. Ooh. Kind of a shame that, like, the only way to have meet and greets with some VTubers, though, is through Offkai at this point. A17? Oh, wow, that's a really weird looking piece from this angle. It's this one right here. And I'm gonna get some water, because last time I got a little dehydrated during stream. I don't want to do that again. Ah! I messed up chat. Give me chat. I wasn't sure if I was talking with family members a few days ago, and I thought this family member was just messing with me. because I started like talking about, I don't remember how the topic got up, but we started talking about melanin, and I think it's just like me talking about like I was like just talking about how people have different shades of skin, and that's caused by melanin. I think that's all it was, that like how we got started talking about that. And he just was like, no, it's not. It's called melanon. It's called, what did he call it? He called it melanonin. And I was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like, and it's like melanonin is the term, not melanin. You just made up the term melanin. And I was like, what the hell is melanonin? And he's like, oh, melanonin, like, it's the right term. And, like, we just went back and forth like this for, like, several minutes while I'm just, like, thinking he's messing with me. That he's just, like, invented a new word just to try to gaslight me into thinking that, stop breaking, model! Jesus Christ. Okay. 1 minute. Okay. But I'm just convinced he's trying to gaslight me or something. And I finally figure out, though, while talking with him back and forth, what he's been trying to say. And that is, so it is like, he's going back and forth, and I was like, what do you think melanin is? And he's like, you know, those like yellow, like those dark spots you get on your skin when you get older. And I just fucking stand there, look him straight in the eyes and goes like, melanoma? And he's like, yeah! And it's just like, oh my god. The worst part is, when somebody who, like, will casually fucking, like, jokingly, of course, try to gaslight you, gets information wrong, and they don't know it. Because then you just have a back and forth like that, where you feel like you're going insane. God, melanin, melanonin, and melanoma. Though I suppose I've never thought about the fact that melanoma is probably literally taken from the same root as melanin. All things considered, so I guess thank you for making me realize that with your insanity. And that is D. Are you D? I think these are D. Yes, they are. My camera keeps breaking on me today. I don't know why, chat. Goodness gracious. Don't be like that. Well, actually, I saw that, my brain just malfunctioned. I forget the name. So let me double check it real quick. What's this? Oh. I need to check something real quick. Appreciate it. That Nimi, that's the name. How could I not remember Nimi? That's such an easy name to remember. But Nimi has a new model, and she's streaming right now, which maybe I shouldn't say that part. I don't care. She's streaming right now, actually, showing off her new model. It's very nice. Ooh, actually, I want to show you something very nice. Chat, look, no prongs. No prongs on a high-grade V-fin. I know, impossible. Oh my god. What will stop me from poking out my eyes, chat? Oh, the humanity. Can I check something real quick? Okay. Sorry. My model going down like that. Or he's a tricky little fella. Oh god, it's warm. It's warm and I do not have the fan on. I don't want to open the window, but I might have to. One of those nights. I get nearly what I wanted to get done today, sadly. I really wanted to watch some more Gundam X, but that's gonna have to wait until next stream. I don't know. I don't like streaming on Wednesdays, but we might. With prep time, Gunpla streams might become 3-parters, so I'm not sure if I should start streaming on Wednesdays to compensate for that. And maybe just have... I think it has to go like this. No. But, and have the... Get you in there. Thank you. Having the Monday, Tuesday streams just be for reading streams. And then have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for Gunpla. You'll know by tomorrow if this week is that or not. Looks identical either way, but... There we go. For a high grade, this has good color separation, by the way. Again, I don't know if I should do this. Christ. I don't know if I should do this tomorrow, finish it tomorrow, because a lot of you guys are not used to me streaming on Wednesday, but you never know. Maybe Wednesday would be like a really good... Maybe you guys would like Wednesday a lot, I don't know. Maybe you guys love Hump Day. It is kind of funny how the Nightingale really is just a super exaggerated... It is! The Nightingale is an SD Zazabi made back into, like, non-SD form is what it is. Ooh. Because... I'll get out the Nightingale to do a size comparison later, but, like, the Nightingale also has, like, this beak, I guess you could call it, in its chest. You know, it has this right here. Like, it has all the same parts, but just everything has been exaggerated to, like, an absurd degree. Like, the funnel holders... Let me get these. Ooh, the funnel holders are, like, instead of just, like, these little nubbins, are, like, full-on, like, wings, almost. Like... Actually, speaking of which, I'm actually missing one of my funnels on the Nightingale. Oh, the humanity. There we go. And we need to build the backpack. So F, but we do not need F, we need E. Actually, while we're here, this will be dry enough, so let's take this off. Because removing the tape, I find at least to be visually satisfying. There we go. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. Ooh. Having the raised part be a different color. Let's see if there's any excess. A little, but nothing worth scraping off. Oh, I had this out, not to take off, not to take off the tape, but to get off this. That's a really big backpack. Now that I see it, the Zabi's a wide boy. He a big boy. Zabi's like 23 meters, and he is every centimeter of it. I wonder if it's gonna have the same thing like the Nightingale, where the cockpit is kinda too small for, like, the scale. Because the Nightingale, when I was building it, I realized that the cockpit, or what was supposed to be the cockpit, is actually undersized, and I kind of wonder when we build the head if we're gonna have a similar issue with this guy, if it's gonna kind of be revealed that it's a little undersized, but I don't know. Like, we'll get there when we get there. Ooh. I don't think it. Yeah, it won't have the detail of the cockpit like this is like the Nightingale has. I already cut off the backpack. Let's see here. We need to put on some Vernairs, which are on the F, it looks like. We need to get out both of the Fs. Okay. I was looking at the instructions for a half second. And it's kind of hard to see the numbers on this, I'm not gonna lie. F12. Actually, right now, for the Discord users, we do currently have a poll up for what we're going to be playing tomorrow. I couldn't really decide between Devil May Cry or Doom, so I'm going to let you guys see if you guys have any preference, and if you tie that poll like you've tied the other polls I've been giving you guys, I'm going to fucking blow a casket. You guys need to stop tying polls. Ooh. If I didn't know better, I'd say you fuckers were doing it intentionally, in all honesty. PC9. There's 9. Oh, we have a large roll of 9. And we have E. Big Vernier. I don't know if these Verniers should be a different color. Okay, I still have the sticker sheet. Thank goodness. E. Why can I not see this Vernier? E10. Why can I not see it? Oh, it's all the way over here. It's really massive Vernier. I think we're just gonna cut it off directly. This is kind of hard to get clean cuts with Vernairs anyways, considering their unique shape. Oh goodness. The person I talked about yesterday who was like, oh, these VTubers are hateful. I kind of feel sorry for them because they ended up having to private their account because everyone was like pointing and laughing at them so hard. Ooh. Well, I was gonna say something else, but I feel like that just fucking that made me lose my train of thought. Thanks. Oh goodness, I saw something really dumb on the twitters.coms, which I know, like, I'm gonna have to be more specific, so I will be, chat. On Twitter, I saw somebody like post that they hate gamers because gamers hate The Last of Us 2. Not because, like, any writing issues in it, or any flaws in the narrative, or characters, or world, or anything like that. No, it's because gamers have never been challenged in their storytelling, ever before. You know, The Last of Us 2 is the first story of its kind in all of gaming. And, like, I could bring up games, I could bring up, like, you know, Spec Ops The Line, or, you know, certain visual novels. You know, I could bring up a lot of things, chat, but, like, I don't have to. Because I can just point out the fact that, like, The Last of Us 2 is The Last of Us 2. That means that there was, by necessity, something that came out before it. You know, there is something before The Last of Us 2 that had the narrative weight, and people actually fucking loved it. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Like I'm just seeing that it was such a self-defeating point of somebody going, the last of like the last a story like The Last of Us 2 had never been done before. It was just like, no, it was done before. It was the first Last of Us, and that was challenging. Ooh. There we go. Well, that's frustrating. Okay. Well, it looks like what we're supposed to do is put this on, then plug in the Vernier, because it kind of gets plugged out when you do it the other way. But it doesn't... it says 1, 2, so I guess it does say to do that. Now we can move... Things like this is when you can tell it is a passion product. Oof, the last of them. You might be like, what do you mean things like these are when you can tell, like, the people who, like, designed it were passionate about it? Well, chat. Why the fuck bother making this mobile? Like, I don't even think you can see it with the lighting. Hold up, let me... Okay, you see the Verna? It's so damn dark, it's hard to see this kit. Like, look at that. You can move it. You can move it. Like, such petty, like, design elements is when you can tell the person who was designing it was like, yeah, if I can, I'm gonna get as much articulation as I can out of this. Which, sometimes in an older kit, isn't the best idea. But what I'm saying here is that it's a good sign. And now we're gonna build the head. Don't let me lose this piece, chat. This is the V-fin. We need the V-fin. The Sinanju was actually like a successor to the new Gundam. Are there any successors to the Zazabi in Gundam now that I think about it? Like, in spirit the Sinanju is, but like mechanically and design-wise, it's a spiritual successor to this, like, to the new Gundam, not this fat boy. Kinda wonder about that. I would want to say the what's the like Zaku like in normally I fucking remember its name real quick, but the Zaku like in Hathaway's Flash, chat. I can't remember it. But that feels more like a successor to the Gyaradoga than the Zazabi. God damn it, I really like that mech too. Stop breaking, model. Don't do that. I don't know why my model's been really breaky today. And... see here. We need quite a few pieces for the head today. G. Oh, G. I don't know where that is. Here it is. Phone, don't do that. Oh god, chat, I have terrible news. Netflix has made another anime adaptation. I know. They can't keep getting away with this. I don't know. Obviously, like, the Japanese are not, like, double checking what, like, they are doing with their properties over here in the West. That's the only thing I can think of as to how Netflix keeps getting these adaptations. But they've made, like, an adaptation of that one gambling, hello, Shog. Of that one gambling anime. Like that one high school where everyone's gambling, you know, and whatnot. I forget what it's called, but, like, it looks really bad in Netflix. And let me actually move you down, chat, so I can better read you real quick. Ooh. The worse or better than the Overwatch collab? I don't know exactly what you're referencing, but for Netflix, the It's that one gambling anime, and like none of the characters look like they do in the anime at all. Kakiguri. It would be better as a K-drama. You're right on that. But like none of the characters look correct, and like, like when I saw it, I was just like, wow. It makes me want to play Russian roulette, fully loaded. It's just like it looks so awful. They're like, hey, this is this character, and it's like this doesn't look anything like her. What do you mean? She has blue lipstick. It's not even the correct shade of blue. like the whole character motif of her, like I can tell, like I haven't seen the series, but you immediately look at her, it's like, oh, she's an ice queen. She has light blue lipstick, she has very pale skin, and she has white hair. What do? They make her a character who looks slightly tan, has dark, like, bluish green lipstick, and black hair. You didn't do it. Oh my goodness, I don't know how. Oh god, I don't know how they keep doing this. Thank God that Oda, the creator of One Piece, is really passionate about his creation and was actively like, no, I have to have the final say on everything in the adaptation, or it doesn't get, or like that's part of my contract. When you adapt One Piece, I have to be able to go, yes, this is how it should look. Thank God for Oda. Thank God the One Piece adaptation. And that's the only reason the One Piece adaptation is as good as it is. Ooh. By the way, Shog, I hope your hot cocoa is going nicely. You said before you ended stream, you didn't have to end stream. You said once you finished all your prep and you ended stream, you had some hot cocoa. I hadn't hot cocoa in a while. And it's not in kind of late spring, early summer. It's not really the time to have hot cocoa. He's keeping them on a leash, exactly. Ooh. Oh, I thought you were making hot cocoa. Okay, I misinterpreted that. I thought like you were making hot cocoa and you didn't want the water to get cold or whatever, you know, and have to reheat it. I do not have green paint, so we have to use the sticker, which I'm fine with, actually using stickers for mono eyes. Usually they go on fine. They stick on fine because they're usually in a recess. And also, this one's actually matte, which is unusual. I'm used to mono eyes being a little reflective to them. Oh god. Dog, did you see that picture I added you with the Peeps hot dog? Oh god, I want to know if you saw that real quick. That absolute godforsaken thing that Atya shared on the Discord. Ah, that's why. Okay, so you went out to get some ingredients. Okay. Ooh. And we need these pieces. God, there's a lot of pieces to this head assembly, actually. We're actually gonna. I want to count out how many pieces there are to this head assembly to compare it to some of the other ones. There's a big old. Actually, building this, I really am appreciating. I said it earlier that the Nightingale is a SD, is a double SD Zazabi. It is a super deformed Zazabi. And building the Zazabi, I'm really starting to appreciate that joke is kind of just reality. No, it was, oh wait. No, not Twitter, on Discord. Ooh. No, on Discord, in the, I think it was Food Talk over the weekend, Atya shared, like, a hot dog that was, like, melted into... It wasn't melted, but it was put on top of Peeps, and it melted the Peeps So it was like a bun of peeps around a hot dog, and it looked absolutely awful. Ooh. I don't know if it's technically sacrilegious, but it felt like sacrilege. Yeah, Discord is Usu. Thing is, like, Discord's weird because, like, sometimes it will. Discord will half the time, even when I'm directly messaging, like, even with you, Shog, when I'm directly messaging people, I can see that it'll just have the notification up in the corner while I'm reading your message. And I'll have to, like, navigate away, then navigate back to your message to get it to go, like, to get the notification to go away. Other times, people, like, remember, this is true for anyone. Other times, like, people could message me, like, 3-4 times, and it'll just won't notify me at all. And then it'll just be like, hey, here's a message you never read. You've already read it, though. No, I didn't. What do you mean I already read it? Yeah, it is gross. When I saw the EU, I was about to ask, wait. I was going like, wait, what about Endless Waltz? And I was like, wait, no, wait. Normally I'm terrible with acronyms, but when I recognize one, even when it's not there, I try to go like, they're talking about this thing. No, they're grossed out, Merrick. No, they obviously want to talk about Endless Waltz. Why else would somebody say ew? Because you sent them like a link to like horrifically bad looking food. Nah, they want to talk about Gundam. Let's see here. Can we? I keep looking back at the Nightingale just to see the elements that they share. I know you have the real grade. I don't think you actually were able to get around to building it, sadly. Because you just got busy, if I remember correctly. But do you have a high-grade Zazabi that you have either built or not built? I can't quite remember, Shog. Ooh. Yeah, but are you kidding me right now? Chat, there's no, like, square pegs on the V-fin, but, like, can you see that? You see how, like, it gets a little fat right at the tip? There's a square peg on the on the head fin, but not the V-fins. Why? Why would you do this, Bandai? I want an SD. I did not know there was an SD Nightingale. I want that. Sadly, where I go to shop doesn't sell SDs very often, though I did see SD. I saw 2 or 3 SD High New Gundams, which I almost got, but then I was like, I don't like the High New Gundam. Like, I don't like I was like, the real grade High New Gundam, amazing. The high grade High New Gundam, awful, and I was like, I'm just not gonna roll those die. It's a flag, thank you. That's the term. Yeah, I know that I can cut it off, but I don't want to do it right now. Oop. Oh god. Is there a sticker that goes there, or that just not painted? They just didn't give me a sticker for the head camera. What color is the head camera supposed to be? I think the thumbnail said it was supposed to be yellow. I don't know why there's no camera for that. You had to get your SD? Okay. If I see a Nightingale, though, I definitely would pick it up. The Nightingale, I love the Nightingale, but it does look weird as hell. It is a brick. It is a nonsensical brick of a mech. But the SD, the Nightingale is such a super deformed mech that the SD Nightingale looks like a more flexible mobile suit. You know a mech is really messed up in its proportions when the SD version looks more reasonable. Oh my god. Part of the reason I want an SD, we're building the guns. This is the same thing that happened with the Jag Dogas. The instructions are like in weird order. It's like the order is different than anything that comes before it and anything that comes after it for some reason, but I guess we're gonna build some blasters, chat. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just weird. The proportions are better. Like, how does that happen? Like, I'm gonna bet it's gonna be able to actually bend its legs. Fun fact about the Nightingale, even though the Nightingale, high grade is an amazing and very fun build, because it's so big, its legs are actually pre-bent. Like, it has a joint there, but, like, it has a joint not at its knee, but, like, on its calf, because its legs are so, because its proportions are so weird. It has a pre-bent knee, and it actually has, like, a slight, bend at the calf of all places. It's just, and, like, the arm is similar. It has, like, a bicep swivel, and it's just so, everything about it's so weird. Everything is so exaggerated, and it's lovely for it, but it's just, I'm looking at it right now. It's such a weird fucking thing. It's so weird. Where is the other... Oh, the other blast has already been cut. Why were you cut out already? Okay, and the other part we need is the E. It should be this part right here. Uma Musume is on sale right now. Thank you, phone. Very cool of you. Ooh. Actually, that reminds me. I saw a post from Tomoe Umari, and apparently the developers of Uma Musume this year are sponsoring the Kentucky Derby. Which is like, that's optimistic. Maybe we'll get, like, the names. If we get American horses in Uma Musume, I'm gonna play it. I wanna get pants on fire, chat. I wanna get the names of American horses. We ran out of names like 100 years ago for horses, because you can't name, you can't, like, rename a horse a name that's already been, like, taken past a certain point. If it's like a famous horse, that name is just reserved forever, so there can never be another, say, Secretariat. Secretariat is just one and done, because Secretariat was just that much of a legend. But just so, like, for, like, clerical matters, you just have horses that can't have names that's already been taken. So you just have, like, horses like Pants on Fire. That's a real horse's name from, like, 10 years ago, chat. But I think it's pretty cool how they are sponsoring the Kentucky Derby. Ooh. Seeing that, and where I know the Japanese are very particular about, like, the looting of the horse girls, because those horses are named after real horses, and the owners don't want people looking up the horses and then getting smut. In the West, I think this is gonna not matter. I don't think that's gonna be as much of a concern. Ooh. Da-da-da. Oh, that's the wrong one. There we go. Actually, I think, where is it? I have real close, chat. I have the blade from the Nightingale actually out right now. And even in the blade, even in the beam saber, the proportions are more exaggerated, it feels like, especially in the blade. So I'm gonna put it right here so you can see it while we clean this up. And we we actually get the blade out and put it on. The blade is not nearly as exaggerated, but I feel like you can even see it in the difference of the blades, which is insane. Because there's no reason for these to be different. But I think, like, the handle is a little... looks like it's about the same length. Let's take this. Yeah, this is the blade. Oh. Oh my god. And I do like how it is. It's pretty much a beam hawk that turns into that, like the blades combine into a beam saber. That's a really cool like concept. Yeah, look at the difference between those two. That sums up the difference between the Nightingale and Zazabi pretty succinctly. Like you have this clean, you know, almost like actually kind of like reminds me of a Halo. I know it came out way before Halo, but it reminds me of like a Halo sword like over here, you know, this clean shape that it like tapers off. Like you can still recognize it's a sword, but like it's crazy and sci-fi, and you have the beam saber coming through. Meanwhile, this one's just like blah. Look at, like this one, you look at and you ask the very reasonable question, like if you just put your wrist like this, will you just stab your own arm? And the answer is yes. This is like, how do you wield this sword without hitting yourself with these massive wings? It's so much style in the Nightingale, and I respect it for that, but my god, is it silly. Oh my goodness. You know what? I'm gonna build this, and I'm gonna show you the difference in the guns as well. Okay, we can consider it like a teaser for for a size comparison later, but it is insane the differences between these two builds. I have no idea when you said that, Shog. If you just said it, good, cool. But that is probably an example, because actually the notifications have been like really delayed on on Discord. The notifications have been like super delayed for me recently. Like it's actually weird because I've actually seen things and then half an hour later got a notification for them on Discord, which is pretty annoying. And this goes here, and let me get this out. This has been pretty good at getting rid of the Vallejo, so yeah. These tweezers have been really good. They're actually better at getting rid of the Vallejo than the X-Acto knife. I had to find it. The X-Acto knife will like scar the piece and whatnot, but this will just clean it off, and it'll just be nice. Looks like I should probably put some panel liner in here later, but we can do that later. Let me get out the Nightingale's blaster. I'm saying blaster because YouTube is sensitive about the terminology you use. Okay, chat. I don't think you're gonna be ready for this. Wow. Why is it? It's like, I think it might be twice the length. Hold up. It is like 40% longer, it looks like. Why is it so much longer? Why is it so much bigger? It says like the entirety of the Nightingale is just compensating for something. It is like the Lord Farquaad's castle of just of mobile suits. I swear to God. E? Looks like we're building the shield now. Earlier today, I got a really nice, cute picture of my dog, and I wasn't able to share it because I realized very immediately that my dog's big, cute eyes perfectly fucking reflected me, and I was like, fuck. I was like, oh, that's not good. I actually did post it on one place and had to immediately take it down because I zoomed in and realized that's me. Ooh, that was almost bad. That's why you always have to check reflections in eyes whenever you post something. As stupid as that might sound, you always have to do it. Actually, there was a idol in Japan who actually got assaulted by a stalker because the stalker actually found out like where they were by using the reflection in their eyes to see the train station that they were at. So like as insane as it sounds, like yeah, that's something that can happen. Ooh. That was a crazy fucking story, but that's also why you need to be careful with all the information you share. Again, we talked about the whole "He Will Not Divide Us" flag with Shia LaBeouf yesterday, so I think everyone here in my chat kind of already knows the dangers of people like this, how easily people can find out where you live. Ooh. It's a danger. Let's see here. Oh, I need to put in a polycap before I put that. And I've misplaced the polycaps, chat. You hate to see it. You hate to see it, chat, I know. No! I dropped the polycaps. Okay. Yeah, with idol culture, shit's fucking crazy. Oh, there's a hair. And what piece do I need? I'm gonna guess it's gonna be... Oh, it's a 1. And there's a lot of creepy people. There's a lot of creepy fans in idol culture. That's one part I don't think anyone's sad is not being translated over to VTubing as much. Ooh. I actually do remember Amelia Watson one time put a fake reflection into one of her photos for her PC. What she did was, like, she had a picture of her PC, and in it, she actually hid a reflection of her VTuber model in it. So if people zoomed in trying to look for something in the reflection, they would just get a picture of her smirking at them. Oop. Nightingale, can I look at you real quick? Where is your shield? I was gonna... Everything I do on this build, I just keep turning around and looking at the Nightingale to see how different it is. Oh my god. We need to put a sticker on. It's a sticker, which isn't gonna look as good as a water slide, but the shield is so bare that I wouldn't want to have something on it. I wouldn't want to keep it naked, chat. Ooh. One of my favorite things about... Because we're building Char's mech. Oh, get off of there. There we go. But one of my favorite things in Zeta Gundam is how... this Char... the fact that Quattro Bagina is Char is just, like, never hidden for a moment. Like, in the story. Like, everyone in the story just knows it's Char. Like, it's one of my favorite things. Like, Bright's just like, oh, hey, it's Char. The one short guy from, like, who piloted the gun tank is like, oh, hey, it's Char. Everyone knows it's Char. And they're just like, Char, you can't keep running away from your past like this. And he's just like, I think I can. There we go. There's no guiding posts, and yeah, that's... On camera, it doesn't look too bad. Model! My model has been breaking all stream today, and I don't know why. I think it's because I don't have the proper lighting, because I'm having to use my face lighting for this. But on camera, that looks a little bit better. You can still see the sticker outline, but it's not... Hold on, let me hold it at arm's length. It doesn't look too bad at arm's length. So it won't look like terrible on display is the important thing. Sorry, I'm a little annoyed. I painted this gray, and I'm realizing now I should have painted it yellow to go with this. Hindsight's a bitch. And now let us build the arms. Actually, let me see here real quick. What time are we at? Yeah, we'll build the arms today and maybe do the legs next week or tomorrow. That seems like a plan. I can keep track of the pieces I'm cutting with it, of course. 10. You know, people usually prefer the Zazabi, but I'm a really big New Gundam fan. I always found that, like, the New Gundam, specifically going from, like, the original Gundam to the Gundam Mark II to the New Gundam, is always, like, I've always found that to be, like, the perfect, one of the best, like, evolutionary, like, just progressions in, like, design-wise in fiction. It's just really clean. You just have, like, the very kind of toyetic of its time, like, RX-78. Then you have the Gundam Mark II, which is just a more hard robot version of what came before. The colors are a little darker, you know, not as toyetic overall, but it's still there overall. Then you just have this super refined version that's just super clean, not over-designed. It's not like they don't just add detail to add detail. They just make it super freaking clean, and that's the New Gundam. They give it a little bit longer legs, more heroic proportions, and it just looks really, really clean. It has the single wing design with the fin funnels. I actually do not like the double fin funnel New Gundam design. Ooh, I think the asymmetry really makes it pop all the more. Oh, I've already cut off these pieces. Where's the other one, chat? It's right here. Oh, goodness. What's all this? Oh, 1 minute. Okay, sorry about that. Had to mute to check on something. One thing that kind of annoys me, and I'm just going to talk about this in general real quick. One thing that always kind of annoys me is how people will act like stories only have meaning if they're literal in the Bible. Oop. And not focus on, like, the purpose of it. Like, it's just like they treat, like, the Bible not as a spiritual guidebook, but as just a, like, literal historical text for Genesis. And that always kind of annoys me, because, like, no, it's a spiritual guidebook. Like, it's like, but, like, what's the point of, like, the Garden of Eden if it didn't literally happen? The point is that it tells you that man is imperfect, and that temptation may bite at his very heart. Stop that. Stop breaking model. Ooh. This is very annoying to me that just not appreciating those pretty basic fucking lessons. Oh, but what's the point of, like, the world drowning if it didn't literally happen? Well, the point of that one is also pretty simple. It's the fact that man may drown in his own excess without diligence and virtue. It's pretty straightforward. If you can't take the lessons without thinking it's literal history, that's a problem. Even the parts that are, like, history, so to speak, the parts that we can, like, go back and source in history, they're still telling moral stories, and nobody has a problem with that. Just weird, more of a American, Protestant thing, though. Where, like, they have to believe everything has to be literal, even though the Bible is built on poetic language and metaphor and simile. So, you know, that's always fun. But, where is this? G5. I wasn't able to watch Gundam X today, and I'm really upset about that. I need to go back to it, but I'm just too busy doing nothing. And I missed this. Hold up, I need to go back and fix this. Too busy doing nothing, chat. That's all I'm doing. Just taking care of my dog like a responsible owner, and I'm freaking the hell out, I see. Model, stop breaking. Christ alive, why are you breaking so much today? Why are you being like this? Why are you like this? Better not, just stop breaking, model. Huh? There we go. So, yeah, I just wanted to check real quick. Yeah, 2 out of 3 of these, I think these are missiles, to be fair. Ooh, not beam projectors, but I think it's in the Nightingale that these are supposed to be, like, beam projectors or something. If those are beam projectors, 2 out of 3 of them are blocked. And then G5? I think all the designs in Char's Counterattack are pretty peak. I find it a little weird that, like, the shins of the Doga are just exposed. But at the same time, I guess that also conveys the fact that these were models rushed out of the factory. To be fair. It actually has a completely opposite thing where with the Scope-Don, because its proportions were so unique to it and so different from Gunpla, I pretty much could not for the life of me figure out, get in here, like how big it was before, you know, like while I was building it. While it was in my hand, I was like, I have no idea how this is going to compare to like other Gunpla. But like getting back into Gunpla, getting back into, you know, with the Zazabi, I can tell how big this is going to be. And it is going to be very, very big. Ooh. That's what she said. Ah, there we go. And then we need to put on this. Is gonna be here. Now the marks aren't here. But I said earlier how I interacted with a cat while on a walk. And interacting with just it wasn't a wild or feral cat or anything. It was very obviously like so familiar with people. It was very, very obviously like somebody just lets their cat walk around, which you shouldn't do. But it was a good way for me to see like, okay, how good is my dog with cats? And actually, my dog is better with cats than cats are with him. Ooh. I figured that cats were going to be slightly too big for him to see as prey animals. but I wasn't sure. But it looks like, yeah, he sees, like, cats are too big for that for him. But cats still don't like him because he's still super curious about them. Did it? But, like, watching the cat and interacting with the cat, literally all of the body language of the cat was, like, identical to what my dog does, which just convinced me all the more my dog is just a cat in denial. Ooh. Oh, no, it goes on like this. Ooh, because it pretty much did all the stuff that my dog does. It rolled around like for no reason, like it walked up and, like, say this is its head and it just did this, it just like did this and then it started writhing on the ground for like no apparent reason. And I was like, oh, my dog does that all the time. Ooh. It would just randomly, like, if I tried to scratch too close to its butt, it would get really offended. My dog does that all the time. You know, my dog, like, will get really randomly be like, oh no. Like, get, like, energized and want to play if you try to, like, pet him on the butt. The cat was the exact same way. I just was, like, interacting with a smaller version of my dog for, like, half an hour. Ooh, which is also why I kind of had to rush to get stream started today. Because I was playing with a cat for, like, a half hour longer, for a half hour of time that I did not have. And then move this, and then we'll have two of these. Okay, yeah. Actually, I can't think of a lot of gunpowder that has this pure black in it. I am the dog. Actually, you saying that. Yesterday, I dropped my scope dog, and the scope flew off of it, and so it just became dog, I guess, you know, if it doesn't have its scope. But I had to, like, look through my, through, not the whole fucking place, but I had to look through, the room, just looking for this, like, little piece this big that flew off when it hit the ground. And I kind of wanted to make a post that's like, I have lost the scope for my scope dog, it is now just dog. Ooh, let's see here. F9. We're still doing on this. You're D. Okay. See if I can find it. 9. There we go. Shit, I just forgot what I was gonna say. Oh. Because we talked about him a little bit yesterday, but I'm not really surprised by what I saw today, but we talked about a little bit about, like, the whole iDubbbz and Ethan Klein thing going on, but, like, that whole thing is, like, centered around, like, technically, Hassan Piker, and at this point I'm kind of convinced, like, Hassan Piker's entire, like, reasoning is just, like, whatever the worst take is, that's the take he, like, decides to go with. Because I saw a take from him today that was literally like, the DPRK did nothing wrong, and anything that they've done wrong is actually America's fault, because it's America, you know, who pushed them to be the way they are. And I'm just like, that was not on my bingo card, but I guess, you know, that's just where we are. Oh god, at the same time, this is the same guy who has, on Twitch, shown and praised Hamas propaganda. Like, there's nothing more I can say about that. Like, there's no punchline. He's just done that. How has he not been banned? Well, we said earlier in chat how Clancy, the owner of Twitch, literally made a happy birthday video for him and pretty much forced his employees to sing Happy Birthday for Hamas Piker. So, I don't think we need to ask how that happened. Like, how is he not banned or anything? I think we all know why. Oh god. I forget, it wasn't when he said America deserved 9/11. What was it that actually got him banned for like 2 days? Ooh. He did something. And everyone like was talking about it and they're like, how is he still there? So they had to like give him a slap on the wrist. Ooh. And the only reason that happened isn't because he did something bad enough to get banned. It's because, you know, he simply got in enough trouble from everyone else. Not to say that, like, what he did wasn't bad. Ooh, I just don't remember what it was. Because it was kind of just... the reason I don't remember is because it's Hamas Piker. It's just another Tuesday with whatever, like, awful thing that he does. He's a silly man. Ooh. The silly man who's like, let me show you a music video, and then it's just Hamas propaganda, just being like, oh, like they're just singing about how they're gonna kill everybody, and how, like, you know, like the infidels will die, and you're just sitting there just like he had a guest on that stream, and the guest was like, Hassan, like, what are you doing? Like, what is this? And it was like, oh no, it's a cool little music video, and he's like, this is propaganda. Like, why are you showing me like propaganda? He's like, nah, dude, they're just really passionate. It's like, what is this? Like, oh my goodness. Twitch is a weird place. See here, and then this goes, not sure where this goes actually. I think it goes, okay, yeah, it goes here, and then this is confusing, is what it is, and then this goes here, but we need that to go in here, which is, that's annoying. Give me this. I am it's not a Gunpla build if I don't have to deconstruct it at some point, chat. Six? Okay. Ba. There we go. And then please go in. Old Gunpla kits and aligning polycaps is one of the hardest things in the world. Okay, there we go. Luckily, this is a pretty special build, so it's not as bad as some other kits. I think even the, what was it, chat? The not the Gyaradoga, the Jagdoga had some parts that like were a little bit hard to align. You think it was not an honest take? I don't even know. That's the thing, like, with him, it's kind of hard, like, I don't think it was 100% honest myself, but, like, at the same time, like, as he said himself, like, you have to say... The thing is, like, he's said himself, like, you have to say moderate things to, like, you know, look good, and then say the radical things, but it's like, that's a pretty radical statement, so, like, I don't know if that just means that, like, that it's more honest or not. It's kind of one of those things. But actually, it's kind of weird to be building a kit like this where the polycaps are aligning so well. But at the same time, he is just like America bad. Like, whatever the situation is, it's just like America's the bad guys. Like, there could be like some tribe of like people who are cannibals or something. Like, there could be an alien race that invades Earth that just wants to harvest humans and eat them. and are purely malicious, and he'd still be like America bad. It's this whole fucking thing. I still find it funny how iDubbbz tried to defend the whole, when Hassan said the U.S. deserved, you know, 9/11. When Hamas Piker said that, I still find it funny that there's no real good defense of it. What you have to do is just lie through your teeth and just say, like, he didn't, like, you have to say, like, you have to change the quote into something else, then say he never said the different quote, and then go from there and say that he was actually saying, like he's actually providing commentary on the nuances of interventionism and all this shit, when that's not true at all. But you just need to be like a lawyer. You need to lie through your teeth. Sapbot, get the fuck out of here. That's the solution to it. But iDubbbz's solution to that quote, one of the worst quotes he's ever had, was just going, he's a really passionate guy, and he was just being really passionate about what he was saying. This is not a live stream, this is a scripted video. You did not cook for this one, did you? You did not cook at all on this. Also, the fact that they released it during the scheduled time for Ethan Klein's stream, so that way, like, they could catch Ethan Klein off guard with it, and when Ethan Klein wouldn't be able to watch it because, you know, like, he's in the middle of streaming, you know, they could be like, oh, you didn't watch it because you were a coward. But then Ethan Klein did watch it live. He was like, oh, what's that? iDubbbz released the new content cop and it was about me. I'm gonna watch it right now. And then every point he countered live because there were no new points. It was the same stuff that people had been saying against him for like the last 2 or 3 years. I don't know exactly how long this has been going on. And so it just like, he just smothered it immediately, just casually going like, yeah, this is the context that he's leaving out, and it's just like, drama is weird. I remember making a post a few days ago that said, like, a good woman can change a man, but so can a bad woman, and it was kind of in reference to, like, baddies. Ooh, like a joke on that. But I feel like Ian kind of is more of, like, the dark reality of what that quote is. Okay. This is a pretty solid joint. Sounds like the dog has something. I might have to go out to see what he got. Sadly, no. Well, it's gonna have a bicep swivel. We can see that right now, so. It won't have any forearm swivel, which is not as good. But it is an older kit, so we will not hold that against it. And what the hell? I don't know what that is. I don't know if this is supposed to be a camera or something else, chat. Ooh. No, I did talk about Videodrome and... Sorry, I was trying to think of what I talked about last stream. I did talk about Videodrome and... Naked Lunch. 2 very weird movies. What? Ooh, we're a little over 2 hours. But I think we will do the shoulder pads nonetheless. Then we do the waist and the legs. I don't know. I kind of want to try to do it tomorrow, but also I don't want to do an impromptu stream tomorrow because you guys aren't used to Wednesday streams. The 50-50 shot on that. Let's see here. Okay. I don't think I talked about this, and that is the fact that I finally figured out where the shedding for my dog came from. Because he's like part hound dog, so he has a very short coat. So he was shedding like really bad, and I was like, how is this possible? Like, this doesn't even seem like it's hair that came from him. And the hair is from his tail and the back of his thighs. Stop breaking. Stop that. But it's from like his tail and the back of his thighs, because that's like where he has really fluffy hair. And I took the comb and like de-shedded him there, and there was more like shedding hair there than on the entirety of the rest of his body from that, like from those two spots. I guess technically 3 spots because he has 2 thighs, but from that single area there was more hair than everywhere else. Hey? Come on. Come on. Come on. Is it? And I already have these cut off, right? These also came out pretty nice. Ooh, I'm really happy I took the extra time to do the, I don't think it's panel lining. And you got censored. I'm so sorry about that. I'm gonna have to actually get up to see what you said. I'm so sorry about that. I just noticed that. I'm so... Just the fact that, like, yeah, people will hurt themselves with what they have to say if you let them. Yeah, that Hassan should be allowed. Yeah, I think Hassan should be allowed to say whatever he wants, because he shows people just the extremes of, like, what he will say. Like, you give a man, you know, enough rope, he'll hang himself kind of situation. Here it is. A lot of these parts of the Nightingale are exaggerated, as I have said multiple times. But one thing that I never understood in the Nightingale is the shoulder design. The arms I can see being exaggerations, but the shoulders are very different. Ooh. Because the Zazabi has these big, bulky... I mean, just look at the instructions here. These are big, bulky shoulders. But then, in the Nightingale, they're hollow. Like, the shoulders are actually hollow. They're pretty much like this. They're like this, and then there's verniers in here. And that's, like, the design for it. While the Zazabi is pretty much like a big fist in comparison. I don't know... That is kind of weird to me. Though I guess it does fit better with the Nightingale's design to have the shoulders like that. Ooh. As weird as that is, because everything's so exaggerated. But breaking from that pattern there is actually a good thing, design-wise. I'm having trouble finding this piece. G. I'm holding the G sprue. Oh, there it is. Are they still making new Law and Order episodes? That seems like one of those shows that just keeps going no matter what. I know there's different Law and Orders, so I don't think classic Law and Order still exists, but I think SVU, it still existed at least a few years ago. Are they still making new episodes of that stuff? I don't think anyone in my chat would know that. I think I'm asking the wrong people that question. I am not surprised, though, you saying you're a free speech absolutist was censored by YouTube, because YouTube loves to censor things like that. I've shared in the past how, actually, I've been censored on YouTube for saying the word constitution. Actually, no, unconstitutional. That word has been censored for me before on Twitch, on YouTube. Ooh. Using political terms just gets you censored on YouTube for some reason, and I have no idea why. Because it's not like... It doesn't matter. Just saying the words in general will just get you censored in chat, and it's so stupid. Ooh. Unconstitutional, free speech. Militia. Just fucking, it is. It's insidious. And because how YouTube works, it's not like with Twitch, where if your comment will be held for inspection by the channel owner, what they'll do is they just will let you see your message go through, but no one else will be able to see it. Ooh, it'll get filtered before it ends up on YouTube proper. And then I freaking hate. That's also really insidious and really disgusting. And then I'll just get all these out. I don't know if I can simul stream to a third thing is the only issue. Oop. And I don't know if I'd be able to moderate 3 chats even if it's small. It'd be more just the fact of the multitasking and like keeping track of what's happening on each one. Again, if I had a Rumble, that chat would not be on stream. For obvious reasons. Even though Rumble is not as bad as people give it a name for, there are still plenty of bad actors on it nonetheless. It'd be better safe than sorry and just not bother putting their chats on the screen. And this is a little annoying. This is not flush, so it won't go in. If I get it flush, there we go. Yeah, I know I'll need help moderating eventually, but today is not that day. And can we... Today, typically what I have to deal with... I think I've only ever on YouTube had to time someone out once. I've had to time someone out once in the entirety of YouTube so far, and that's because they were spamming. That's the worst I've kind of had it. Ooh. Did it? I didn't even have to ban them, I just had to time them out too. And they'd even leave, they were like, okay, I understand, I messed up. And it's like, yeah, we're like... Ooh. I pretty much just, I fucking disciplined them. I corrected their behavior. And then they were well behaved, chat. And this is not flush either. Come on, can we, thank you. I need to turn that down. That is loud as hell. Actually, that was it. I know I've talked about this on stream before, but it's still something so silly to me, and that is the fact that Synthetic Man fans were in like Kratosis's chat once, and that was the person who just went live, that's why I got a notification. But it's just always funny to me because Kratosis is a massive, you know, Mauler fan. And what they started to do is they just started to criticize, like, Long Man Bad, you know, which is just a meme of just like, oh, somebody makes long videos, so they're bad. Sorry, I had to do something. But what's funny about that is Kratosis also makes like really long videos. So just going like, oh, his videos are long and like all this, and it's just like, dude, like, what? That's like somebody like that's like somebody like bitching about Tomoe Umari, complaining about like how she has an American motif, then coming over to me and saying, oh, we hate Tomoe Umari because of her American motif. While I'm literally sitting here looking like this, it's just like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, what do you mean by this? Oh my goodness. Synthetic Man fans are kind of a different breed. And sadly, I don't mean that in a good way. They're also the people who, if I remember correctly, started harassing Kirsha because she gave Husbando of the Year award because he was like part of like, what is it, the Real Game Awards or whatever, which was kind of like a parody Game Awards for like, you know, because the Game Awards are kind of a joke in and of themselves. But for that, like, she was, you know, to award the Husbando of the Year award. This is not the correct piece. And she, like, gave it to, I think it was, like, Barrett in Final Fantasy Remake. And so they were like, oh my god. She's the one who decided to give it to Barrett, and she gave it to a black person, which is, like, means that she's, you know, woke or whatever. And it's just like, you know a group of people are dumb as hell when they look over at Kirsha Verstal, the VTuber, and go, yeah, that's a woke, like, she's a wokist. It's just like, yeah. There's no helping you. Umar me proud, damn right. Ooh. As I've already said, they're just a weird breed, Synthetic Man fans. But then again, Synthetic Man has been caught just straight up lying to his fans. I forgot who Synthetic Man was, but I remembered he was the guy who like insisted that like in God of War, 2 underage characters should, you know, start boning to repopulate the giants, you know, to like make the giants come back. They should start boning like Adam and Eve, and it's just like, well, no, because that's not how repopulation works. If there's only 2 of something, that species cannot repopulate because the genetic degradation would be too severe, firstly. But when you're talking about 2 pseudo-human characters, effectively human characters who are like 14 both, and you're like, they just need to start repopulating the giants by boning, kind of a weird place for your brain to go to immediately, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that's really weird. And oh, and his fans were trying to defend him, not by being like, you think the defense would be, it was a joke, guys, okay, you're taking it seriously? No, the defense was, he has a point, actually. I'm telling you, these are just a different breed of fucking human. He has a point, you know. Atreus should just, you know, just in the game right now start, you know, doing it with Angraboda right now in the game. You know, they should just stop what they're doing. And it's just, if I wasn't there, if I did not participate in like mocking these people on the stream that EFAP responded to Synthetic Man, I wouldn't believe this is true. If you're like, nah, this isn't true, there's no way he said that, and his fans were like, yeah, he's right. But nah, it happened. He's also the person in that review. One part is that he said how the game God of War Ragnarok, which you can criticize for plenty of reasons, but like one of his criticisms was like, there's no gore in the game. And while he's saying that, he has on screen a video of where like where the characters are beating like a werewolf effectively, and then it cuts to a different clip right as Kratos grabs the jaw of the werewolf. Now, for those of you who haven't played God of War Ragnarok or seen gameplay footage, When like when the werewolf creature, I forget what it's called. It's like called, it's not called a werewolf, I think. But when, like, we're just gonna call it the werewolf. When you beat a werewolf and you do a finisher on it, you grab the top of its jaw, like Kratos grabs the top of its jaw with one hand, the bottom of its jaw with the other, and pulls and keeps pulling, and he literally pulls out the front of its chest. Like, he doesn't just rip off its jaw, he rips off the front of its body by doing that. And in the video, Synthetic Man, while saying the game just doesn't have gore in it, that it's all PG-13, cuts away from that scene. It's just like... oh, fuck. Like, why would you lie about that? Like, I don't understand why. Oh my god, also he's dumber than me, which is saying something. Because there was a boss fight that was completely optional, that in the game they say is optional, and that you can just not do. And he missed that line of dialogue, so he tried to beat an optional boss that you were under-leveled to deal with. The whole point of it was that you try to beat the boss, you learn it's a little too hard for you to beat right now, then you come back later and fight it again. That's the point of the optional boss, you know? That just because you can fight something doesn't mean you fight it right there. And he got really pissed because, like, this boss is a really big difficulty jump. And when it was pointed out to him that the boss wasn't meant to be, like, when it wasn't meant to be fought there and you just did extra work for yourself, you know, like it was meant to be hard, you know, oh no, my brush, I didn't see that. Oh, this is terrible, there's paint on the base of this brush, meaning I'm gonna have to reset it. That's awful. But when he heard that, like, it was his mistake in the scene, he was just like, nah, the game's still bad for that. And it's like, at least when I make a mistake in a game, I can go, oh yeah, I was pretty stupid about that. I can acknowledge, like, yeah, like, I'm doing things wrong. Even when I have valid criticism for a game, I will still go, like, this is what I'm doing wrong also while doing this. Ooh. But, no, there's just no self-awareness there. It's, oh hey, you did this thing unnecessarily. And it's like, well, the game's still wrong for, you know, forcing me to do that. It didn't force you to do that. Well, it was still wrong for not making it clear. There were several lines of dialogue saying this was optional. You just weren't listening. Ooh. All just... And that's pretty much just like the entirety of the EFAP. It's just insane. He doesn't listen to the game. The game has built into it just guides. Like, if you're struggling with a puzzle, over time, the game will indirectly just tell you how to solve the puzzle. Like, it won't be like, okay, do this to solve the puzzle. But it will lay on hints so obvious that you're like, okay, yeah. Like, that you or I, if playing the game, would feel embarrassed that the game would tell us, like, would be so blunt in telling us how to solve the puzzle. And he just didn't listen. He just didn't even hear it. He was like, I don't get this puzzle. While the game's literally explaining what you have to do to solve the puzzle. And he's like, it's just, it's crazy. Ooh, that was one of the weirdest in a while of EFAP streams. I don't watch EFAP as much anymore, but that was one of the weirdest, like, just disconnected, like, from reality people I've seen in a while. Ooh. We get this? And then... did I? I really kind of feel like he demonstrates the danger of just this kind of pride in general. Just not willing to recognize when you've made a mistake. Oh my god, I think, wait a minute. Oh, no, sorry, I thought you got... So I thought I saw a chat that got freaking censored again. Well, I'm a little bit on my toes for that right now. Understandably, I hope. And then this one... did I put that on backwards? I think I did. I did. That's embarrassing. Oh, it's always good to be able to admit your fault, chat. Always good to be able to go, oh hey, I messed up. Take an honest look at yourself is one of the most important things you can be able to do. And where's my part separator? Oh, I don't know where my part I don't know where either of my part separators are right now, chat. Okay, can we... This is a little annoying. For the love of God. I don't have a part separator. This is bad. There we go. Luckily it's strong pieces, but I really didn't want to accidentally break anything. There we go. Okay, there, that goes there. And I'm hoping now it's just mostly assembly. I mean, I know we're doing build right now, but you know what I mean, just not any more cutting up or pieces, and I say that while I'm having to get out a piece to cut off. 2. No. Yes. Oh, God. I just got a message. Oh, God. Oh, God. Why are people... Somebody... Oh, my God. You know, people act like Rosie O'Donnell and Donald Trump must hate each other, but I mean, I think Rosie probably secretly loves Donald Trump, because I mean, when has she been this relevant? You know, I don't think she hasn't been this relevant in like over a decade. Ooh, sorry. Ooh. Yep. Ooh. Wait a minute. Brain melting. Oh my goodness. Really? Okay. Luckily this comes off pretty easy. Yeah, this is the same model I was working on last night. Oof. It's still the Suzabi. I did a little bit more prep off stream. I did panel lining on these so they'd pop a little more. I did the panel work on, I did like this, I used tape to get these. And I did the yellow here. Actually, I did this part live on stream, but let me find the crotch real quick. That's never gonna sound good. But, ooh, I painted this on, oh no, I painted this also, I think, off stream. But this turned out really well. You can see how yellowed it is. So, I'm really happy with all the stuff I was able to get done. Actually, I had to do a little bit of prep right before stream, in all honesty. Actually, at the start of stream, I still had more prep to do, and I'm an interminable idiot. Chat, I just put this back on after having to take it off. Oh my god. God cannot save me from my own stupidity. There is no salvation. Oh my... These are slightly different shades. You can see that actually really clearly. I wasn't sure if on camera, but on camera you can see how that is a very... That's just like, that's just red. This is crimson. Huh. Oh, I think it's also a little true. It's also true for the chest. This is crimson while this is red. Oh, there's actually like a nuance of color separation in this kit in the reds. I'm really surprised by that. They didn't have to do that. That would make the process more complex and technically costly for that reason alone, because you have to use different dyes and whatnot. I'm genuinely impressed by that, and ooh. Okay. Luckily, I was like, oh, I didn't put this on when I could. Luckily, like the Nightingale, you can put these on afterwards. You can... Like the Nightingale's shoulder pad. Oh my god. I just realized, chat, remember when I said that the shoulder pads were different? Well, that's still true, but what the Nightingale's shoulder pads are, is they took away this. And what they did is they took this, and they exaggerated it. Is that they elongated it, and made it, like, they pretty much just elongated it and made this the shoulder pad. So, even the one thing I was saying is different in the Nightingale is still a caricature, is still an exaggeration of the Sazabi. Like, I'm really impressed by that, but I'm... it's almost kind of annoying that, like, to be, like, even wrong about that. So, you are not correct. There we go. Then you go here. And we will get out some hands, cut them off for him, and then we will be done for the night. Please give me the hands. Please, come here. We'll go simple and just go with some closed hands. And regardless of if it's tomorrow or next week, I am going to watch some Gundam X so I can talk about Gundam X again and so I can get back on that horse. I was gonna say that there's something else that I really want to watch, but I'm not watching it. And like, I'm not watching this other show anyways, but I realize that would have been bitter to say because I'm watching it with someone. And the reason I can't watch it is because they're busy. And out of respect for them, I'm waiting for them before continuing it. And originally, I could light a fire under them by being like, hey, if you don't fucking, like, make some time sooner rather than later, I'm just gonna watch on my own. Ooh, but because some behind the scenes things that happened, and out of respect for them, I can no longer do that. I can no longer pull that card because it would be either too obvious of a bluff, because I would be able to follow through with the threat in the past, but now I can't. So now it's a pure bluff, and they would know it's a bluff. Ooh. So I just gotta wait. Ooh. The bug. It's so bad that I'm like, I should be watching Gundam X, but I'm just re-watching the other show. If I say what the other show is, you'll figure out who I'm talking about, so I can't say that much, sadly. But I can't watch the other show because of that. Ooh. But instead of watching Gundam X, chat, what I'm doing instead is I'm just re-watching the other show. I'm just rewatching the other show and going like, yeah, there's some real good character work here, yeah. Yeah, like, I'm writing down paragraphs of just like, yeah, there's some good, you know, like, narrative work here, there's good character work here, there's good, like, you know, foreshadowing here. And I ain't sharing it with anyone. It's actually funny, the only person I'm sharing it with is the person I've been watching the show with. Ooh. So mostly that's because I can't really share it on Twitter, because I don't like doing long posts or, like, threads on Twitter. Hey, you got big hands. So I'm just kind of stuck just writing all this. But I might start doing shorts, because I think they would be good material for some scripted shorts. So hopefully this... I want to say this Friday I'll have my first scripted short out. Not my first, but the first of an ongoing series of scripted shorts. Where, like, they're kind of like mini reviews. But I'm actually going to try to edit a compilation for this week, so I can have another edited video for this month. Because as I've said before, I'm trying to edit a video about once every month this year. But you'll be able to know what happened by Friday or next week. But this is the build so far. This is the Sazabi. Kind of been more rambling. I think this has been more rambly than yappy today. But this is a wonderfully beautiful build, and I'm happy to say that the head actually looks like it could hold a cockpit inside of it. The Nightingale has such a tiny head that I don't think... Its proportions are so weird that I don't think there could ever be like a ball cockpit inside of it, but the Sazabi has a big enough head where I feel like it could fit. And it kind of just barely fits if you actually look at the anime. But this is where we are. It has already really good color separation built into it. The extra work of getting these to stand out, to be, I guess, more anime accurate, was really worth it, because it really makes it pop. And I feel like it almost kind of brings out the color separation a little bit more by having that bit of extra darkness. I don't know, I guess it's because he doesn't need Verniers back here because he has the backpack. That's why he doesn't have Verniers, but we have all this done, and either tomorrow or next Monday we will be finishing him off by building the rest of the assembly for the back, the waist, and the legs, and then we will be done. But that is for next time. Right now, let's find a place to link you guys off, because, wow, my model... What is going to make my whole model go away? I don't like that. Well, let me find a place to link you guys off to, okay? And let me move the microphone so I'm not talking away from it. Okay. Now let me find a place to send you guys to. Ooh. Too small to raid, but you're never too small to link out. Damn it. Well, that stream ended 14 seconds ago. Wonderful. You know what? I'm gonna send you to Kurtosis. I said he's streaming earlier. I'm gonna send you over to Kurtosis because he's doing Oblivion right now. So if you want to check out the new Oblivion, you can go there for him on YouTube. You have a great rest of your night, Opus yourself. And on the Twitch. Let me see where I can send you guys on Twitch. I'm gonna link you out as well. Nobody I know is streaming right now, so let me just go to models then. I'm gonna just send you to someone who's building a model. Oh, that's a good place to send you. This guy is another VTuber, and he's building the Epion, which is a Char clone mech, so there you go on the Twitch. You can still see the cigar floating. But there you go, Twitch. Thank you for joining us. Oh, I think I moved the camera a little. Thank you for joining us. I'll try to have a cleaner desk tomorrow. I'll try to, whenever the next stream is. But thank you for joining us. Have a great day, a wonderful life, and remember, don't lose your head. I don't have Star Spangled Banner queued up, so give me a second to do that. There you go. Have a great night, everybody. And if we are not back tomorrow night, we will be back on Thursday with either Doom or Devil May Cry. On the Discord, there is a poll for you guys to decide which one we're doing first.